I haven't seen you in a while. How you doing?
I'm going bald and it's crazy. I'm not going bald, I am bald. But we don't talk about how difficult it is to be bald. Like, I feel like everybody else is like, well, I get my hair cut and it's perfectly okay and blah, blah, blah. Some people can go get a haircut and not have to cut their hair for months.
Mm-hmm.
But because I'm going bald or in the processes of being bald, have to cut my hair all the time, else I look crazy.
Oh.
Like, I was talking to Alex earlier and I was like, hey, the sunroof is open, but the moonroof is closed and I look wild right now. I have to go peel them both open real quick. I'll be right back.
That is amazing. I love the sun and the moonroof.
You're looking crazy. So we don't talk about how difficult it is to be bald, and I want more equality when it comes to communication.
We need that.
Bald people.
We do. We need. It's gonna be our newest merch. Equality for bald people.
Equality for bald people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't wear this hat for no reason. Like last week, I was looking crazy.
I thought you were like repping it, like repping Power Design.
Well, this week it's cut, so it's a choice. Oh, so last week it wasn't a choice.
Last week you were being forced.
Yeah. I was being forced by my hair situation. So how are you doing, Jessa?
Oh, I don't know if anything I can say could top that, to be like, to
I probably
be
shouldn't have gone
honest.
first.
No, I love it. I really do love it. I think that is super important.
And I also wrote notes for funny things that happened in my life. So
oh man,
should probably start doing that.
I need to start doing that. Why are you so smart? Funny things that happen in my life.
Content.
Which is literally every
Content's
day.
king, baby.
Yeah, really? Okay. Yeah, I don't have anything that incredible. That was a great PSA, and bald people, we feel you. So
yes.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
BALD.
Yes.
And think about it. I only got to enjoy hair for 25 years. What is that?
That's not fair.
And for the first year,
were you bald as a baby though? Were you bald as a baby?
I probably was. I don't remember.
I'm just saying you can't include the first 2 years if you were bald as a baby. My kid was bald when she came out. I was like, "Where's all your hair?" She looked like Dr. Phil, y'all. She had like the whole thing up here, and I will post a picture.
That's so funny.
Aww. And now her hair is wild. So
great. She got it. And she'll have her hair the rest of her life.
That's true. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
I was just thinking about like what type of deal is that? Like, where did I sign the dotted line that I would only get the hair for 25 years?
You can't keep your hair because you don't get to be talented and a people person and have hair cam. That's not how that works.
That's it. The world was looking out for me and they took my hair.
The world was looking out for you. You are not allowed.
Other skills.
You have to leave some room for other people to succeed. Okay. That
have
is
the
humbling you.
Crown haircut that all these black kids are getting now. I can't even do that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I did see someone the other day. There's this comedian where he's like, y'all not going to shame me about my hair. So he is bald in the front. He decided to get cornrows for the rest of it. I'll have to send it. His name's Chico Bean. It's so funny.
You don't get to shame him.
You don't get to shame him. I love it.
No.
He's taking it back.
That's beautiful.
And then there's
another
comedian who got like a hair piece, but it had like dreads on it. So funny. Wow.
That's cool.
So he's like, we're bald people. We taking control. Like,
yes, you are. Yes, absolutely. Oh my God. Awesome.
That's so funny.
Well, welcome, bald people. You have a safe space here with us. We really appreciate you being here. Yeah. What's not fun? A lot of people don't talk about this, but they don't talk about like after pregnancy, your hair falls out in clumps, dude.
I witnessed that. Alex was really upset about that. She was like, look at this spot.
Yes, I have pieces of hair on my head that are still not like, they're still just barely baby hairs still because my hair was just like coming out. So it's definitely a hormonal thing and it will get fixed, but nobody talks about that either. Like stuff like this is normal. It needs to be talked about.
It does.
So thank you for coming to our TED Talk.
That was a rough couple months when she was upset about that. Because like, what do I say? I don't.
Yeah.
Sorry, your hair will grow back after you're done with this stage of, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
But you know what?
The body changes like that.
The body does change. And I also feel like as a society, we put a lot of weight on our hair. We do. That is a lot of people don't. Well, a lot of people who have been following me have known for a really long time, but I actually shaved my head. Like my hair was down to my belt and I shaved my head. We raised money for St. Baldrick's and it was beautiful. And, but it was a very hard transition for me because I went from being a woman who had this super, super, super long hair to like, I can't hide behind my hair anymore. It's my head's out in the open, like, and it was very freeing and it was great. And I just felt like all of this weight just disappeared because literally they cut like all this hair. But I also realized how much vanity we hold in a society in our hair. And
it's a lot.
Especially with, people who are going through chemo, people who are, they are bald, they're starting the early stages of baldness. That stuff is really hard. It really is hard. So, just think about, what do I want to say? I just like,
just think about other people. Like it is.
Think about other people and know that A, you're not alone, and B, you're allowed to feel that way. Like if you're allowed to be sad about your hair, that's period. Don't let anybody try to convince you to not, feel sad about your hair. But also, we do put so much weight on it. And I want people to think about that because the reason that we love people is not because they have great hair. Mm-hmm. The reason we love people and we connect with people
of who they are.
Exactly. Like I know if I need to call my best friend and my hair is like, she will answer. She does not care. So, like we definitely take some of those things for granted, and there are people who cannot grow hair. So
for sure.
I am proud of everybody who's here that is dealing with it and that is seeing other people for it because it's important. Everybody looks different, and that's great. And it's great. Cam is not allowed to have so much talent and hair. Sorry.
So it's all good. I'll live.
Wisdom by Design podcast. We are a podcast for the creative looking to enrich their life with knowledge. We won't be giving you 3 ways to get rich quick. In fact, we are for the college avoider, the corporate dropout, the person burning the midnight oil on their next big project, and we are here to talk with you. We want to offer up the processes that work for us in our business and to be real about the ones that don't. This might be your new faith podcast. I'm Jessa.
I'm Cameron.
And this is Wisdom by Design.
Wisdom by Design. All right. What are we talking about today, Jessa?
What are we talking about today? I don't know. We just went on an entire TED Talk about loving yourself and your baldness and
we did
everything.
We did. It was to prep the emotion. Is that what
it was? Doing? Yeah. Today's going to get a little emotional, you guys. Today is episode 8. We are talking about when your business is affecting your life. That's a tough one.
It is.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to get it over with.
Yeah, I know. That one is definitely really hard. And what can that look like? What can your business affecting your life look like? Oh gosh, burnout, stress, not sleeping, to-do lists that are overloading your day.
I know for me, I get stuck. Like, I'm not interacting with my environment. I'm very closed off. I'm in my head.
I get in a foul mood.
Things. Like, and bad mood. Easy.
Oh my gosh. And I will literally sit for hours at my computer and just, I got to get it done. Not realizing like all the things that did I eat today? Did I drink water? Have I gone to the bathroom? Have I moved? There are certain things that when your business starts affecting your life, that it's affecting you mentally, emotionally, physically, all of it. that's what we're going to talk about today.
You want to go first or you want me to go first?
I don't know. I kind of feel like I want you to go first because
all right.
I cried last time. So
you're trying to get me to cry on purpose?
I can totally go first if you want me to.
No, I can go.
Okay.
So we've kind of been talking about how when you own a business, it kind of strips everything away. Like in owning a business, being a single owner, single operator of a business, you have to really look at yourself. Like, so let's take this for example. When I was first doing power design and being on Instagram, you have to be on screen. For people to connect with you, you have to be on screen. You have to be okay with being recorded.
Yes.
And that's something in my personal life that I am not okay with. So having a business and being a business owner forces you to have to look at these certain things in life that you wouldn't before you wouldn't do and you have to do now. So let's just say being that transparent in business has also made me have to be that transparent in my personal life. So I've run into a couple situations where I'm kind of becoming more open and from becoming more open, I've become more emotional. I've been probably crying more than I ever have this year. This year, I've probably cried more than I ever have in my whole life.
Good. That's your body literally telling you this needs to go. Like this needs to be released.
Being upset, being angry, being being in a foul mood is probably happened more than has ever happened before. Because I will tell you before, the Cameron Davis used to be the one who I made myself little. I kept myself quiet and I stayed in my head. So you see me in public, I'd be like, hi, how you doing? You wouldn't see who you see now on screen, being animated with Jess, being funny. Right. That wasn't who I was because I was too in my head. So having a business has made me kind of be open, be out there. I know one thing that I ran into that I probably cried about the most was when I first realized that I had gone to college and I had gone and got the job and I had done all these things because I thought they were the right thing to do. And then I realized I had done them for something else and I had not lived my life for myself. So other people had made all those decisions for me and I thought they were all the right decisions, but what if they're all wrong? They were all not for me. So to go and think about, I'm 30 years old, 30 years of not living your life for yourself, that's freaking sad. Like, that's really the saddest thing ever. So I really I was like, and the type of person I am, I look for someone to blame. So I was like, who did this to me? Like, why am I like this? So I was like, those parents of mine, they really got me messed up. I don't know if they know they got something coming. But then eventually you let that die down. You're like, they did the best they could with what they had in the situation that they were in. That's just my life lesson. Like that was just a lesson. And to shake myself at 30 instead of having to shake myself at 60 is still a way better outcome than a lot of people can hope for. So that's probably one of the biggest ones. And then just also with being like so emotional, it's like you cry at random things. And I was watching the Will Smith, I think it was the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunion. And I watched it at like 6 a.m. And because my kid gets up at like 5:30 and I'm up at like 6 a.m. watching this. And I've cried I cried when it came on. I'm like, why am I crying right now? And then they do the Uncle Phil thing and I cry again. And then they bring in the old Aunt Viv and I cry again. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, why am I so emotional about this?
Because they're our childhood. That's why.
Yes. Because that was the family you grew up with. Like you wanted to be them. You wanted to be Will and you wanted to be in a family like that. Even though you had your family, you still were like, hey, that would be like, that's cool that they have that. They grew up with you. It's like the Cosby Show. We watched that stuff because it really spoke to like the family unit, everybody having it figured out. Like,
yeah.
So when I wouldn't want to take risk in life, they did. Like Will would do something stupid, but I would never do that in my life, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, no, I remember my mom, it was just my mom and me and my brothers, and she would always play the Bill Cosby soundtrack, like his comedy special.
Oh, his comedy albums?
And oh my gosh. And I mean, we would literally beg for her to play it because we would laugh so hard. Just me and my brothers, we would laugh all the time. And the chocolate cake one, like with the eggs and the flour. Oh my goodness. He was basically talking about how his child wanted breakfast, and he was trying to convince her that basically breakfast was cake because there was eggs and there was flour and there was like it was just like this really long, hilarious thing. But I remember all those different things that just it fills you up right here, you know, like those different TV shows, those people that we grew up with, all of that it is very meaningful. So it's not a surprise that you did have an emotional reaction to it. But it's also probably your body saying you need more of this. Yeah. One of the things that I learned, talking about, you know, our businesses, like taking a hold of our lives, was that I'm really good at bottling stuff up. I always thought I was this open, super honest, like person, which I am with other people when it comes to being vulnerable for them. Yep. But when it comes to me being vulnerable and me talking about my feelings and things like that, I just block it right up. And then I don't understand why I'm so angry and hateful or and
people don't understand what you're feeling or thinking because you haven't said anything. Like
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been in strain. And another thing that I've kind of come across is like this is to be like out in like open. Like me and Alex have probably had the same argument our whole relationship. Like it's usually the same one. And till now it's probably been like that thing that really pushes us to, and we get upset and it just puts us in a bad spot. And something that we've been talking about, like we've talked about love languages and things like that. And I realized I was being a jerk. Like you finally realize, like when you're attached, like actually feeling your emotions, you realize you're being a jerk. And like the love language thing it's not for you to push on them the way that you need to love them. It's for them to tell you how they need to be loved.
How they need to be loved.
From that, I realized that I am a narcissist. Like, I feel like I'm the main player in life. Like, but that's not a good thing. Like, and I think it comes from like being in high school and being the valedictorian, being the football star, the wrestling star. Like the spotlight is put on you, and that's me blaming. But again, it's me. I make these decisions.
It's you trying to find the connection to why, and it's not bad. It's not bad. Like don't think that because you know that about yourself that it's bad. It's not bad. It's just that you know that you work a certain way and you're used to things being a certain way. The thing that will make this better is how you respond to it. Because we all have selfish thoughts. We all have bad feelings. We all get away from ourselves and start, you know, oh my, dang it, my husband and blah, 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 blah. You know, we get like that. But it's when we sit down and like we're doing this self-discovery thing, like you're discovering, okay, this is how I am. Like this is how I've been. How do I fix this? So it doesn't make it shouldn't be something that you should be ashamed of. I know it's hard. But you're doing freaking amazing.
I know it's tough and we're learning. And so that's my next kind of journey, is to do a little research into that, start setting up some habits that kind of break that. And like, now that I understand it and can put a name to it, now how do we get past it, kind of thing. So I figured that out like maybe 2 weeks ago. And, but I feel like me and Alex will have our things, but I feel like now I can listen easier. And I don't know if that's because I'm not because at work, I would go to work and have to sit and deal with being in a situation that I couldn't control. So I'd have to numb myself. So I basically come home and be numb too. We continue to have the same arguments and I'm numb. So how am I supposed to hear you out for what you need to say? But now that I'm actually feeling, I'm living, I'm like aware, it feels different. And she'll say something, I'm like, I hear you. I kind of understand. I understand why I was a jerk with that. I don't get defensive. I'm trying to stop blaming. Like,
yeah.
So I never thought that would be something that would come out of starting and living my own business type of thing. You know what I'm saying?
But that's the thing is like you are with yourself 24/7.
Yeah.
You are with yourself 24/7. And when we do run businesses, it brings out all of those things that are preventing us from moving forward.
Yep.
With my business, I was so out of touch with myself that I was just going. Like I joke about it all the time, but I'm literally a recovering workaholic. Like that is my thing. And it's, I try to not let it define me because I do struggle with it a lot. Because I will sit at my computer for 15 hours a day and do this because for the longest time, my worth was wrapped around what I was accomplishing. Yeah. My self-worth was wrapped around what anything on my to-do list that I could cross off. Oh, I feel better. I feel better. And then, but when I wouldn't, oh my gosh, it would be a tornado. It would be even worse. Like then things would start piling up and then I would start getting depressed. And like, it was just this really long, vicious, ugly cycle. And you sit in it. Like when you are not in tune with your emotions and you're a business owner, you're literally staring at yourself in the face and you're fighting yourself.
That's a great point.
You're literally really standing in your own way. So like, I know it sucks and it's hard because like we have these things that we have to work on and fix, but the fact that and even as a community, we're trying to take those steps to better ourselves. That's the most important part. Mm-hmm. That's the thing that's going to propel your life, to propel your business. Like people remember when we were growing up and like, if you posted a picture of yourself or like you'd be around certain people or you'd be around like, other people, like if you basically complimented yourself or you were proud of yourself or some way, or you posted a selfie, it was, what was it?
It was selfish.
It was selfish.
Yeah.
It was vain. It was all of these negative things. So now we are all these business owners trying to grow up in a world that told us we weren't allowed to be proud of ourselves. So like we literally were told as children, you do not get, like it's not appropriate. We're like
tampered down. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You're literally not purposely squashed because that's how everybody was taught. But it's like they think that they're doing something positive, like, oh, don't be full of yourself and don't have a big head and da 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 da. The amount of self-esteem between men and women in our age group is astounding how bad it is. Like it's like, I think that's the coolest thing about our generation finally coming out with all these different battle cries, talking about body positivity, talking about mental health, like all these things that everybody else is saying, oh, that's not important. Self-care isn't important. It's selfish. I don't have time to take care of myself. Okay, well, the reason we have screwed up behaviors and the reason that we cannot succeed is because we're not taking care of ourselves.
100%.
We're literally stepping on our own toes, and it's all we know because that's how we were raised. So, like, let me step down off my...
You don't realize, like, I guess it's part of also being a kid is you eventually have to, we don't tell kids this, but you should really check in with we should be having check-ins with ourselves along life.
Yes.
Like who you were before, you don't have to be now. Like you're always allowed to change. What your environment was when you were growing up doesn't have to be what it is now. So it's almost like, we need to tell kids it's not that serious. Like,
right.
It's okay. Yeah. Like, because I thought it was super serious. I thought life had to be planned out. This is it. If I don't make it, my life is over. But you realize that these are just checkpoints. These are markers. Like,
well, and that has a lot to do too with what our society views as success.
Yes.
Our society, from when we literally go into school to we graduate, is you need to do this, and then you're successful. You need to, you know, be into sports and have all these great careers, and you know, you need to go to a crazy cool college, and you need to be in a sorority, and you know, and then after that you got to get the heavy hitter job, and it's just like this constant. And for some people, that's fantastic. Like, that's what they need to be in. But for me, that wasn't anything that I wanted. It didn't have the same values that I wanted. I felt like I was spinning. You know, I'm in college going, why am I learning this? This isn't the information that I need. It's not the information that I crave. You know, I felt so confused. And when when my business really like it just went straight into the shitter, and people, you know, they're like, oh, but you're doing so great. You're doing so, now, like, you guys, social media is fake.
It's
like,
fake. I guys didn't know it's fake.
I hate to be like that jerk, but social media only highlights the positive things, because that's all that we want to highlight. Those are the things that we want to highlight. And we've been seeing this giant just outpouring of people being real people now. Because genuine. They're showing their emotions. They're being genuine. They're talking about the hard stuff. Like, this is where, you know, we actually started growing as people, because when my business finally fell and then I started falling, I mean, I was down, like, past it. I didn't want to touch a camera anymore. I was literally physically sick. Like, it was not a good headspace. And then COVID happened, and my mental health was like, see you later. What do you want from me? You don't need me right now. I'm gone. And that was a really scary thing, in that, you know, that psychologists and therapists were not available during that time.
They weren't.
I had people that were reaching out, and they were contacting doctors for me. And because of COVID, because nobody knew exactly what was going on, everybody was terrified to take on new clients. Nobody wanted to, you know, everything was shut down. And so I had to navigate not only my mental health, but my failing business during the world on fire. And it just felt like it was never going to end. And I found this amazing coach. Yes, baby. Hi.
Daddy don't want to go to my Barbie party.
Daddy doesn't want to go to your Barbie party?
No.
Oh, that's okay. You want to go find some more Barbies for your Barbie party?
I don't have Barbies.
Oh, we got to fix that, I guess.
Can you give me a new Barbie? Chocolate Barbie?
A chocolate Barbie?
You got to do it now. It's on film.
She wants a chocolate Barbie. I'll get her whatever the hell she wants. Oh, cool. Okay, here, let me go put this. Oh, here you go, kiddo. Let me go put on a TV for her real quick. I'm so sorry.
You're fine.
I'll be right back.
20 minutes later.
So sorry. You can hear me. I am so sorry. It's like that guy from you know, that business guy, when he was in his office and he was trying to do like an interview and his kids came busting in through the door.
Yes. Like, that's real life.
That is real life. That is, you guys, we are parents. We have kids. So there you go.
I think you were at your wellness coach. You were talking about your wellness coach.
Yes.
So you were talking about how COVID had started. You couldn't really find therapists at the time. So
yes. Yeah. So, you know, aside from, thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
So,
that's what a good co-host does.
Right. I appreciate you. So in the process of that, I had my best friend Emma actually sent me Natima her information, and I was like, okay, cool. Like, I had known of her. I had loved her. She was a part of a book that Emma bought me about motherhood. That was beautiful. I mean, if anybody is really seriously needing a book on motherhood, this book will make you cry. I promise. We will post it in the show notes. It saved my life. I was diagnosed with postpartum depression after Sophie. And it was the ugliest, scariest thing I had ever been through. I was so disconnected. I was so like scared of being a mom. I felt like I wasn't worthy to even have a kid. I mean, I wanted to run away. I wanted to run away from my life. And it was a really, really hard moment for me. So you know, when Emma had said, hey, Natima's doing this program, I'm like, Natima's doing a program? What? You know? And so she just called me. Like, we set up this conversation for this program she had in place, and all she was doing was just asking me questions. She was doing like a test group, basically. And we were talking about all these different things, and she was like, you know, what kind of programs have you done in the beginning and in the past, and what, you know, do you want out of a program, all these different things. And I was like, I just want to feel like somebody sees me. Like, I don't want to feel guilty because I'm not mastering, you know, 180-minute workout that makes me puke. You know, I don't want to feel like I'm having to force myself to not eat. Like, all these wellness programs that were actually in place for women were so detrimental to our mental health. And it was so detrimental to my mental health. And I was like, this is literally all I want. I just need help. I'm just in a really dark place. I just need help. So fast forward, long story short, I entered this program, and like, the one thing, it was a beautiful program. And the thing that sticks with me to this day is I have a choice. I get to decide if I want to be happy today. I get to decide what anything's going, like anything, like I get to decide anything. I don't have to be sad anymore. I don't have to be disappointed. I don't have to sit there and go, well, where did I fail? What did I do wrong? Like, instead of constantly bullying myself, like a lot of us do, I literally had a choice to say, you know what, I'm going to be happy today, and I'm going to do what I love, and I'm going to spend time with my kids. And if things don't work out, that's fine, because it's not the end of the world. Yep. It's not. Like, we literally forget, all of that to say, we literally forget how important it is that we get to make the end decision. Like, at the end of the day, we are the ones who get to decide what we're doing. And I feel like all of these different programs and all these different areas that I had thought I would find help in, they were just preying on they were preying on me. They were preying on my insecurities. They were preying on my self-esteem. And then I meet Natima, and I tell you what, every single time we would have a meeting, I would just bawl my eyes out. Like, I was probably the one client that she was like, it's okay. Like, you know, like trying to reach out to me through I love this woman. Like, this woman literally said, there is not a program for women who, like, there's not a program for women. Like, everything, there's not even a program for men. Like, they think that they have all this stuff figured out, and it's a money-making scheme. And then you meet somebody. Yeah. And her entire program is built on your mental health. It's built on pushing you to see that you have a choice and that you get to do better. And I mean, it changed my freaking life. I never would have thought and obviously with depression, with anxiety, with, you know, postpartum, bipolar, all of that. Like, obviously you do need to have people who are on your team, in your corner, that need to help you with that, because those are serious things. You know, they may need medication, they may need therapy, they may need all these different things. So I'm not saying that that's replacing that in no way.
You're saying it's an add-on. It's a thing. But
I'm saying as somebody who has suffered from all of those things, I no longer choose to associate myself with, oh, I'm depressed and anxious. I am, you know, I don't let those things control my life anymore, because yes, I may suffer from those things, but now I know that I can still be happy, and I have the tools in order to get through them. So it's just so many feelings.
So many. Yeah, it's crazy.
So many feelings. You guys, crazy. You have a choice. You have a choice.
That's the big takeaway for me was also that, like, you have a choice to wake up and live your life not anxious and not closed off and not to walk with your like chest and your head held high into the world. You have a choice.
Oh yeah.
Like,
and like, even with clinical anxiety, okay, so like actual diagnosis for anxiety, like we know the people who are anxious, they know there are some things that you just can't control. Like sometimes it just feels like your entire chest is about to explode, and it happens. But when you get to that point, you actually have those tools to sit down and go, okay, what do I need? What am I not giving my body? Am I overstimulated? Am I overworked? Have I slept? Have I eaten? All these different things that we as people, and especially as business owners, we don't pay attention to.
It's like you have a reboot structure. Like you have a way to reboot yourself, and you're like,
yes, exactly.
100%.
And that's exactly what, like me reaching out to somebody and saying, hey, I need help. And she literally came back with an entire box, an entire toolkit on how I can get, and this is one of my favorite things. Healing is not linear. She will say that to you until the day that we take our last breath. Healing looks like this.
Mm-hmm. It's all over the place.
It's all over the place. There's, because I would beat myself up. I would be like, well, I want to be this fantastic business owner, but I'm too depressed and I'm too anxious and everything's failing and blah, 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 blah. When it was really, I was just at a low point in that season of my life. And I just needed to figure out how to get back healing. And once I started healing again, I would still have rough patches, but I would know, okay, I'm having a bad day. What do I need? What do I need to sit down and do? Yeah, exactly. Stop. Because if you let it, your business will literally take over your entire life. 100%. And that's exactly why we're talking about this today. You have to be in tune with yourself. It's it's a necessity now.
And as we've talked about this, I've thought about something because I don't know if you've ever seen like Kitchen Nightmares. Have you with Gordon? I love it too.
And Gordon Ramsay. My husband doesn't know this, but he is my boyfriend. I love Gordon Ramsay. He is freaking hilarious. I don't care. I'm not attracted to him per se, but he is my dude. Yes, baby. My mini co-host is here again. Here, baby.
But
Take that with you.
Are you still recording?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Can you just help her get that? I know you have to leave for work. I'm so sorry. We're almost done.
We're almost done. But something I learned from that show is like you'll go into these restaurants and they're having more like disagreements and things that aren't like business related.
Yes.
And he'll take them and he'll get them like get them like a therapist or get them like a marriage counselor or just something like that. And you notice that stuff is answered and it now allows them to be better business
and
owners.
Now,
I didn't realize that until like we're having this conversation. I'm like, that's what he was doing. He wasn't going in there. He was fixing systems and things like that.
Like he was
really just setting them on a better course for life outside of the restaurant. And it usually made their whole system better inside the restaurant, which is just kind of crazy. So if you have a business, you're probably going to need to go and get yourself looked at.
Well, what do I always say? You have to be partially crazy to run a business anyway.
Yes.
You do. Yeah. I mean, I think that's what it all boils down to is we need to realize that we have to put ourselves first in order to succeed. We have to. There's no way around it because you can ignore it for as long as you want, but then you're going to become like me. You're going to become a workaholic. You're going to fail. You're going to fail in your business. You're going to lose all your money. You're going to get your car repossessed, and then you're not going to know why any of it happened. I can laugh about it now. Laugh about it now. But at the time, it wasn't funny. It hurt. And it was hard. And it's hard to get out of spaces like that. But I realized that the one thing I was not putting first was me.
For sure. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Whew.
Dang.
Whew. We did it.
Ooh, y'all, that was an episode.
It was. And I think we should keep in your daughter. I think it adds a little flavor.
Oh, absolutely.
Who else gets a daughter interruption in the middle of their podcast? Nobody but
Chocolate
us.
Barbie.
Chocolate Barbie.
I've never seen a chocolate Barbie, but I'll find one for you. Do they have Barbies made of chocolate?
I don't think so. I thought she meant like brown skinned Barbie. That's what
she knows. She knows how to ask for that.
Okay.
All of her baby dolls are brown. It's fine.
Okay.
My
has one too. He has
knows.
a baby doll also. And my family was like, oh, boy with a doll.
Yeah. Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, you know how
no,
they
he
are.
does. He does
You know
because
how
you know
they
what?
are.
You want to have a good daddy, right? You want him to be a good daddy when he grows up. Exactly. So he has to know how to take care of a child too.
Exactly. It's not bad.
Yeah. No, I think my daughter was actually very disappointed when I had an old Barbie doll from when I was younger. I hadn't opened it yet. It was in this box.
Yeah.
And I let her open it because I Googled it.
Yeah.
I promise it wasn't like a super expensive Barbie. I don't even want to get into Barbie right now. There's a lot of things I don't like about Barbie. But anyway.
For sure. We'll save that for a later date. Yeah.
We'll save that for another episode. As a toy and not providing unrealistic standards for young girls.
Ooh. Say it again.
As a toy. I let her open it and she was just kind of like, okay, put it down. And I was like, dang, I just opened up that Barbie and she doesn't want anything to do with it. And then she started playing with all of her other toys, which all of her other toys actually have skin tone. So I was like, well, she doesn't want to play with the ghost Barbie. It's fine.
My kid only plays with trash. He loves trash.
Yeah. She had that session too. Mm-hmm. So, boxes, bags, bubble wrap.
We're telling all the grandparents, don't buy him any toys because he won't play with them. Please save your money. He won't. Wait until he can pick something out, save all that money for that, and then go crazy. But right now is not the time.
Sophie, her favorite toy. You want to know what her favorite toy is right now?
What?
It is a box, like an Aldi box. You know how you go grocery shopping at Aldi and you have to get the boxes and stuff. So it's an Aldi box that used to have fruit in it. And then I put paper on both sides and I like taped it down and I just dumped a bunch of rice and noodles. Like rice and noodles, that's it. And I gave her a scoop and I put a bunch of toys, like random tiny toys in there. And she's like, yeah, like cost me zilch.
Zero.
Man.
Be smarter.
$0.
Be smarter with your money. These kids don't need toys like that.
Cleaning up the rice afterward is fun. So I recommend a carpet so you can vacuum it because when it's on the kitchen floor, it's not fun.
Because you're going to step on it.
You're going to slide. You're going to slip. I would know from experience. So, all right, guys. Thanks for tuning in to episode 8. We want to hear from you. What is going on with you? What is going on in your business? What do you want to talk about? If there's anything you guys want to ask us, please reach out to us. We are on Instagram at Wisdom by Design Podcast. We are on YouTube. If you're not already watching us, if you're listening to us, we are on YouTube at Wisdom by Design Podcast. I know, shocking.
It's actually, you're worried about that, but that's actually great. It's perfect. Yeah. For branding, it's perfect. I'll tell you that.
Okay, good.
Talk about it later.
I was just worried because it's so long. I'm like,
it'll be okay. But as long as it's the same, it is
the same everywhere. It's spelled exactly as it sounds. It should be popping up on our screen right now. So because we have an amazing production manager who has been hooking us up, Sam Laponis. Yeah. Just a little shout out, Blackheart Audio and Visual. So if you guys want to connect with us, please, we're all over our Instagrams, our YouTube. And am I missing anything?
I think that's it.
I think that is it. So thanks for tuning in to another episode, you guys. We can't wait to see you again on next Friday when our newest episode comes out. And we're going to keep doing this until we don't feel like doing it anymore. And I think it's never going to happen.
Probably not.
It's never going to happen. So
thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys. My name is Jessa.
My name's Cameron, and we will see you next time.
Peace out, dropouts.
Peace out, dropouts. I like that. That's great.